God says, you are going to hear some good news, all because of your last season of silent endurance, your quiet prayers, your tears that no one saw, and the heavy moments when you still chose to believe. You didn't know it then, but heaven noticed everything. What's coming is not a coincidence, it is a holy response. If you skip this now, you will miss the reminder your heart has been waiting for. I order you to open this quickly before 11:55 p.m. because this message is meant to reach the part of your soul that has quietly held on. Type Amen if you believe. There is a moment in everyone's life when the silence becomes loud, when it feels like everything has paused, and prayers feel like they've gone unanswered. That quiet season might have stretched longer than expected, but God wants you to know that nothing was wasted. Not a single sigh, not a single night of worry, not a single whispered prayer. You are going to hear some good news, not because of luck, not because of timing, but because God is faithful to finish what He started in your life. You may not even realize how many battles God fought for you in secret. While you were sleeping, He was working. While you were crying, He was planning. While you were waiting, He was moving mountains you couldn't see. That is the kind of love God has for you, quiet, powerful, and always present. This isn't just any moment, this is the turning point. You're not standing at the end of the story, you're at the start of something God has written with care, grace, and promise. Everything you've faced, even the parts that tried to break you, were only setting the stage for the news that's about to come. It's not going to be loud, it's going to be gentle. It will come in the form of a call, a letter, an opportunity, a person, a door opening that no one else could open. There's something sacred about waiting, something holy about trusting God even when the road is dark. The world sees waiting as weakness, but in heaven, it's a mark of strength. You've trusted long enough. You've kept walking even when it felt like your feet were dragging through mud. That kind of faith moves the heart of God. And now, He's responding. This is the kind of good news that heals wounds you forgot you had. It's the kind that will make you cry, not out of pain this time, but because you'll finally see that God never left. You'll finally understand why the door had to close, why the season had to end, why some people walked away. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Type 1111 if you trust in God. You are not forgotten. God doesn't need reminders, He doesn't misplace your prayers. He holds them close like treasures. The answer may have felt delayed, but it was never denied. Timing in heaven is always perfect. Right now, heaven is aligning moments, people, and situations that you couldn't even plan yourself. What's coming will feel like a breath of fresh air after a long storm. It will not only bless you, but it will restore things you thought were lost. Some of the peace that's coming will feel unfamiliar because you've been living in survival mode for so long. But God is going to teach you how to breathe again. He's going to teach your heart how to feel safe, how to feel full again. The blessings that are coming aren't just things, they are moments that fill your spirit, laughter that feels like sunlight, mornings that begin without heaviness. And when it comes, you'll know it was God. There will be no doubt. No one else could have orchestrated it the way He will. You'll be able to say, "This was the Lord's doing," and it will be beautiful in your eyes. There will be joy again. There will be a lightness in your steps again. You won't just survive, you will live. You will laugh again, and this time, it won't be to hide the pain. It will be real, full, and deep. This is not a random message, and it didn't land in your hands by accident. God is very intentional with what He allows you to see and hear. Right now, He is whispering to your soul, "I haven't forgotten you." That whisper may be soft, but it carries all the weight of heaven behind it. When the good news comes, and it will, you will remember this moment. You'll look back and realize that the quiet season was never empty. It was full of divine work, sacred preparation, and love that never stopped flowing in your direction. All because of your last trial, your last step of obedience, your last tear. God saw it all. And now, He's answering. You may feel like the battle has worn you down, like your heart has been stretched to its limit, but God is drawing close to you right now, reminding you that you were never abandoned. That burden is being lifted, and a new chapter is already unfolding. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. There is something beautiful about the soul that chooses to trust God in the middle of confusion. That kind of faith speaks louder than words. It shows heaven that your belief isn't based on ease or convenience, but on true love, the kind that says, "Even if I don't see the answer yet, I know you're still good." That is the kind of faith that moves mountains, that shifts the atmosphere, that invites miracles into ordinary days. A powerful 7-second morning ritual, once hidden in CIA files, is resurfacing, and people are already seeing fast financial breakthroughs. It takes only seconds, yet activates a dormant wealth center in the brain most people never access. Click the link in the description and comments now. Access it before it disappears. Your faith is not small. Your faith is not weak. Even when you felt like you had nothing left to give, your choice to keep believing, to keep hoping, and to keep praying echoed through heaven like a sweet song. And now, the time has come for that sound to be answered. You have been waiting, not just for a change in your life, but for a sense of peace to return to your soul. God knows how tired your heart has been. He knows the nights you've stared at the ceiling, silently asking why things had to be so hard for so long. He knows the longing you carry, for healing, for restoration, for breakthrough that doesn't seem like it will ever arrive. But even in your tiredness, you kept choosing to believe. You didn't give up, even when giving up seemed easier. That choice is holy. What's ahead of you is more than a single blessing. It's a season of change, a divine rearranging of what once felt broken beyond repair. You're not going back to the way things used to be. You're stepping into something new, something you didn't even know you could ask for, something that will restore the laughter in your chest and the stillness in your mind. There's a kind of peace coming that won't be shaken by circumstances. It's the kind of peace that wraps around you and stays. It doesn't visit for a moment and disappear with the next challenge. No, this peace is from God, and it is planted deep within you. It will grow like a quiet garden, filling every corner of your life with beauty, with stillness, with warmth. God has not overlooked the pain that shaped you. He's seen every injustice, every betrayal, every time someone misunderstood you, every time you were left carrying something no one else noticed. And He is not a distant God. He doesn't watch your suffering with indifference. He steps into it. He kneels beside you in your grief, in your worry, in your fear. And from that place, He begins to rebuild. Type 555 if you believe God is working in your favor. What He is building now is stronger than what was broken. You may feel like you've lost time, opportunities, people, and dreams, but with God, nothing is ever truly lost. He's the only one who can restore what was taken and replace it with something far greater. And He does it not just for your benefit, but because it brings Him joy to bless you. You don't have to earn this blessing. You don't have to prove your worth. God has already seen your heart, and He delights in you. Not for what you've done, but for who you are, His child. You are loved in ways deeper than you can imagine. That love doesn't shift when you fall short. It doesn't fade when you struggle. It holds you up when your own strength runs dry. Even when you feel lost, God is steady. Even when your voice is shaking, He hears you. Even when you're unsure of the next step, He is already guiding your feet. You are not wandering without purpose. You are being led, gently and surely, toward a future that is brighter than what you've left behind. There will be moments in the days ahead when you will feel a sudden lightness, and you'll realize that the weight you've been carrying is no longer on your shoulders. You'll begin to smile without forcing it. You'll wake up without the heaviness pressing on your chest. You'll look around and see how God worked everything together, not just for your good, but for your healing, your growth, your joy. This shift won't be loud. It will come softly, like dawn after a long night. But it will come. And when it does, your soul will finally exhale. You'll find yourself thanking God not just for what He gave you, but for how He loved you through every chapter, even the ones you never wanted to walk through. This is not the end of your story. This is the page where things start turning in your favor. This is the part where God reminds you that He writes with grace, not with fear. He writes with mercy, not with judgment. And He's writing something beautiful for you. All the years you felt unseen, all the moments you stayed silent because you didn't know how to speak your pain, God saw them. And He treasured your resilience. He is proud of the way you held on. Not because you were perfect, but because you kept going. You are not forgotten, not for a single moment. What is coming is going to remind you that I never stopped working on your behalf, even when you couldn't see it. Type 222 if you're ready to receive. There's a certain kind of tired that doesn't just live in the body, it settles in the spirit. The kind of tired that comes from waiting for answers, carrying questions that weigh more than words can explain. You've been holding on to hope like a thread, and there were days when even that thread felt like it was slipping through your fingers. But through every tired step, through every day you kept going even when you didn't feel strong, you were proving something heaven already knew, your faith was real. And now, that faith is unlocking something. Not because you earned it by being strong, but because God honors even the weakest whispers that come from a believing heart. What's being released in your life is not just a moment of relief, but a season of restoration. God is not just going to patch up the broken parts. He's going to make all things new. The healing that's coming will touch the parts of you that you forgot were hurting. You might have gotten used to surviving, to adjusting your life around pain, disappointment, and fear. But now, God is ready to shift you out of survival and into something sacred. He's ready to replace your weariness with joy, your confusion with clarity, your sorrow with laughter. Not the kind of laughter that covers up sadness, but the kind that bursts out when your heart finally feels safe again. A simple but powerful 7-second at-home ritual, it's hidden in CIA files for years, is now changing lives rapidly. Backed by neuroscience research, it can begin shifting your financial direction in just days. Click the link in the description and comments now and step into abundance today. For so long, it felt like you were walking alone. You saw others moving forward while you were stuck in what felt like pause. You watched doors open for them while yours remained shut. You wondered if something was wrong with you, if maybe your prayers had been misplaced, if perhaps your season had been overlooked. But you see, heaven doesn't forget. God doesn't operate on human clocks or by the pace of the world. His plans are not delayed, they are divinely timed. And now that time has come. This is where the waiting ends and the unfolding begins. You won't have to force it. You won't have to beg for it. What God is doing will come naturally, like rain to a dry ground. Your soul has been parched, but the rain is near. Not a drizzle, but a steady, refreshing downpour of goodness and mercy. God is going to surprise you with the very things you thought you lost. He's going to reintroduce joy in a way that feels like sunlight after a storm. He's going to bring connections into your life that don't deplete you, but fill you. He's going to make space for new dreams, the kind that fit who you are becoming. You will not be stuck in what was. You are being moved into what is meant to be. Type 1919 to receive miracles. The miracles coming your way are not just about solving problems, they are about showing you the heart of a Father who never left your side. He is not waiting for you to be perfect. He's not holding back until you have it all together. He is stepping into your mess, your questions, your fears, and saying, I'm here. Let me carry this with you. You won't have to fake being okay anymore. You won't have to pretend you're strong when you're not. God is not asking you to perform. He's asking you to rest, to trust, to release the weight you were never meant to carry alone. You've been trying to hold everything together, but now, He's holding you. There's something holy about being held when you're weak. When everything in life tells you to be strong, God gently whispers, it's okay to fall apart in my presence. Because it's in those broken moments that He does His best work. Not in the places where we impress the world, but in the quiet corners where we simply let go. So let go. Let the tears come if they need to. Let the questions rise if they must. God can handle all of it. He doesn't flinch at your doubt. He doesn't turn away when you're unsure. He draws even closer. He wraps His love around you like a warm blanket on a cold night. And slowly, gently, He begins to remind you that you are still His. You are not defined by the delays or the disappointments. You are not labeled by the losses you've faced. You are not forgotten because the answer took longer than expected. You are chosen. You are loved. You are protected. And you are about to be restored in ways that you couldn't even ask for. Your story isn't over. The chapters ahead hold beauty, depth, peace, and fresh joy. Don't let this season make you believe otherwise. Even if all you have left is a little hope, that's more than enough for God to work with. He doesn't need your strength. He needs your surrender. The news you've been waiting for is already making its way to you. The shift you've been praying for is closer than it seems. Keep your heart open. Keep expecting. Not because you need to earn it, but because God has already written it into your story. And when it comes, when that moment finally arrives, it will feel like coming home. Not just to a place, but to yourself. To peace. To purpose. To everything God knew you needed before you even asked. I was building you in secret, shaping you for something greater, preparing you for a promise that will not be delayed much longer. What you felt was breaking you was actually remaking you. I saw every second of it, and I was never far. Type yes to affirm. There's a tenderness in God's love that words can hardly capture. It doesn't demand performance. It doesn't require perfection. It simply stays. Through the mess, through the wandering thoughts, through the disappointments and the waiting, His love remains like an anchor beneath your soul. There were days when you couldn't even pray out loud, when the weight inside your heart made silence feel like your only prayer. But even then, God heard you. Even then, heaven leaned in closer. This isn't just a season of change. It's a season of coming alive again. You've spent enough time carrying silent sorrow, enough time brushing away invisible tears. Now God is placing something new in your hands, not another burden, but a blessing. Not another battle, but peace. The winds are shifting. What once felt heavy is about to feel light. What once felt stuck is about to move. There were chapters in your story that made you question your own strength. And it's okay if you broke down. It's okay if you fell apart a few times. That doesn't disqualify you from what God is about to do. If anything, it qualifies you even more. Because He chooses the broken to show what healing looks like. He chooses the tired to show what rest truly means. He chooses the humble, the ones who know what it's like to rely on Him when they have nothing left. You might not see it yet, but something is already shifting around you. It may be quiet, but it's steady. It may be small now, but it's growing. The breakthrough doesn't always come with loud announcements. Sometimes it comes like a whisper that wraps itself around your heart and reminds you, you're closer than you think. Every closed door was part of a divine detour. Every delay was grace in disguise. And every disappointment was an unseen protection. What if wealth was never about luck, but a hidden brain signal buried in CIA files? This frequency is opening doors, attracting opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brain wave today. God's timing is never rushed, but it is always right. He doesn't work on panic or pressure. He moves with purpose. Every moment that felt wasted is being redeemed. Every piece of your journey is being woven together into something beautiful. He is the God who restores not only what you lost, but also the strength you used to survive. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are right where God needs you to be for what He's about to release in your life. And when it happens, it will be clear that it wasn't your effort, your connections, or your timing that brought it, it was His hand. You will look back on this season not with bitterness, but with awe. Not with regret, but with gratitude. Because you'll see it for what it really was, the place where you were planted before you bloomed. This is not just about doors opening. It's about your heart being ready for what's on the other side. God is not interested in just giving you things. He wants to give you peace, joy, purpose, and relationships that nourish your spirit. He's not blessing your life to impress others. He's blessing you because He delights in you, because He knows the cost of your journey, because He's proud of how you've kept going. There is a softness returning to your spirit, the kind that comes when you're finally safe again, when the world no longer feels like it's closing in. That softness is sacred. It's what happens when the soul breathes again. That's what God is doing in you. He's teaching you how to rest in Him, how to trust without needing to understand everything, how to walk by faith and not by sight. And as you begin to trust again, you'll notice small signs. A conversation that lifts your spirit. A door that opens unexpectedly. A peace that settles deep within your chest when nothing around you has changed yet. These are the gentle signs that something holy is unfolding. God rarely shouts, He speaks in quiet confirmations that echo louder than fear. Don't rush this. Don't force it. Let it unfold. Let God continue doing the work you can't see. You've already carried so much. Now it's time to receive. Not just relief, but restoration. Not just answers, but abundance. God's blessings are not empty, they are full of His character. They come with peace, they bring clarity, and they fit perfectly into your life without chaos or confusion. You may not know how it will happen, but you don't need to. That's not your burden. Your only task is to remain open, to stay expectant, to let your heart continue believing. Even if your faith is small, it's enough. God doesn't need your strength, He needs your surrender. He needs your heart to stay close, not perfect. You didn't realize it then, but I was sitting right beside you, closer than your breath, guarding you through what you didn't have the strength to carry on your own. What you thought was your last was actually a beginning. I've already prepared something beautiful, and it's on its way to you now. Type 2323 if you agree. There's something sacred about a soul that keeps walking through the storm, even with a trembling heart. You've walked through fire and didn't even smell like smoke when you came out of it. That's the covering of God. That's what happens when your faith carries you farther than your strength ever could. You didn't need to have all the answers. You just needed to keep saying yes to Him. And you did, even when it hurt. Now God is unfolding a chapter where you will finally see what He was doing behind the scenes. You'll understand why the door didn't open when you begged for it. You'll understand why the path got narrow, why the silence lasted longer than you thought you could bear. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. You weren't being pushed away. You were being drawn closer. This is a new season. One not based on striving or fighting to hold things together. This season is going to flow. It's going to bring peace without warning, healing without struggle. It's not going to come because you worked harder. It's going to come because you stayed close. You trusted when you didn't see, and that trust is now turning into evidence. You might have felt like everything was falling apart, but truly, things were falling into place. What felt like delay was actually a deep preparation. God was moving pieces that you didn't even know were connected. He was whispering your name into the hearts of people you haven't met yet, opening opportunities you don't even know exist. He was crafting miracles in the quiet. You'll see soon that nothing was wasted. Not the pain, not the confusion, not the long wait. Every bit of it served a purpose. And the moment the breakthrough comes, you'll feel something inside you lift, like 1,000 invisible weights finally falling away. And in their place, peace. Real peace. The kind that doesn't come and go. The kind that settles deep. Type 2020 to claim miracles. God is not a God of halfway blessings. He doesn't heal halfway. He doesn't restore with leftovers. When He gives fully. And what's coming will not be just enough, it will be more than you imagined. More than you knew how to pray for. More than you expected after everything you've endured. Because that's who He is. A loving Father who delights in giving His children good things. This blessing isn't just about you. It's about those around you too. God's favor on your life is going to overflow into places you never intended to reach. People are going to be touched just by the peace that follows you. Your story will become a light to others, not because it was easy, but because it was real. You walked through it, and you didn't let go of God. That's going to speak louder than anything you could ever say. A 7-second at-home ritual, scientifically proven by neuroscience labs and hidden for decades in CIA files, is now public, and people are seeing money flow into their lives. Scientists say it activates a brain pathway linked to abundance. Click the link in the comments below before this knowledge disappears again. The pressure you felt wasn't a sign of failure. It was a sign that something holy was being born. Every deep ache, every tear, every silent night was part of the stretching. And now, you are being released into something lighter, something softer. Your heart will feel the difference. It will feel the shift. It already knows it's close. There's a calmness that will settle into your days. The kind that lets you breathe without bracing for something to go wrong. The kind that makes you wake up with peace instead of panic. That is the kind of life God is bringing to you. Not one free of problems, but one full of His presence. You're going to feel Him again, not just in the storms, but in the ordinary moments too. You'll hear it in laughter. You'll see it in the eyes of someone who shows up just when you need them. You'll feel it in the stillness of your home, in the softness of a new morning. God is in all of it. Not just the loud moments, but the small, tender ones. The ones that make your soul remember what peace feels like. And when you get there, when the doors open, when the weight lifts, when the blessing arrives, you'll know that it was God. It won't be something you can explain with logic. It won't be something you planned or earned. It will be grace. Pure, undeserved, overwhelming grace. And you'll fall to your knees, not in desperation, but in awe. Because you'll know, you made it, and God carried you the whole way. This is your time. Not to hustle. Not to prove anything. But to receive. To allow the love of God to pour over every broken place and remind you that you're still His. That nothing can separate you from His care. Not fear, not failure, not even time. He redeems all of it. Every second. Every step. You didn't quit. You didn't let go. And now, you're about to step into a part of your life that will feel like fresh air after years of holding your breath. This is the part where the tide turns, the answers arrive, and peace returns to stay. Type 1111 if you trust in God. So much of what you've been carrying was never yours to hold forever. The pressure, the fear, the weight of unanswered questions, all of it has been pressing on your heart, but God is easing it now. Not in an instant that shocks you, but in a slow, healing way that makes your soul feel safe again. That's how God works. He's gentle with broken hearts. He's patient with those who have waited long. And He's near to the ones who have quietly endured. It's okay if you don't feel strong all the time. It's okay if some days you question everything. God doesn't measure your worth by your strength. He doesn't expect you to have it all figured out. He simply wants you to keep trusting, to keep handing over the worry, even when you have to do it 1,000 times a day. He understands your heart. He knows your pain. And more than anything, He knows how to turn it into something beautiful. The good news coming your way isn't small. It's not going to be something that just helps a little. It's going to touch deep places in your life that have felt empty for too long. It's going to bring clarity to things you've wrestled with for years. The kind of news that makes you pause and whisper, "Only God could do this." That's what's ahead, not because you begged hard enough, but because God is faithful. Because He finishes what He starts. The love of God doesn't fade in the waiting. It doesn't shrink when things take longer than expected. His love stays, surrounding you through every delay, every detour, every night you cried into your pillow. He was there. And now, He's still here, guiding, leading, clearing paths that once felt impossible. His timing might be different than yours, but it's always right. You don't need to rush. What is for you will not pass you by. What God has planned has your name on it, and no one can take it. You are not in competition. You're not behind. You're on a path that was made just for you, and God is walking every step of it with you. He's not just watching from afar, He's in it. With every breath, with every tear, with every prayer you didn't know how to say out loud. Type 777 if you're ready to let go of fear and receive peace. There's a quiet strength that grows in people who've walked through dark seasons with their faith still intact. That strength is in you. It doesn't always look like boldness or loud declarations. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed on the hardest days. Sometimes it looks like whispering a prayer when your heart feels heavy. Sometimes it looks like holding on when there's no clear reason to. And God sees all of it. He calls that strength. He calls that beautiful. You may not have seen the results of your prayers yet, but don't think for a second that they went unheard. God collects every prayer like treasure. He holds your words close. And while you were praying for change, He was preparing you for more than you even asked for. He was protecting you, even from things you didn't know to avoid. He was aligning everything perfectly, so when the moment came, you'd be ready not just to receive it, but to live in it. The shift in your life is already beginning. It's in the way your heart is softening again. It's in the way peace is slipping back into your days. It's in the way you're starting to believe that maybe things really can change. That hope? It's holy. That spark inside you that refuses to go out? That's the Spirit of God reminding you that He's not finished. A classified 7-second morning ritual, once buried in CIA files, is quietly transforming financial lives. In under 30 seconds, it helps shift the mind from scarcity to wealth, with many reporting surprise income and peace. Click the link in the comments below before the page is removed. There's nothing wrong with you for needing time to heal. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling overwhelmed. Life is heavy sometimes. But you don't have to carry it all alone anymore. God is asking you to release what you were never meant to hold. He's offering peace in exchange for pressure, grace in exchange for guilt, and rest in exchange for striving. And as you let go, even if it's slow, even if it's piece by piece, you'll start to feel lighter. You'll start to recognize the quiet ways He's been showing up for you all along. In the kindness of a stranger. In a moment of stillness. In the strength you didn't know you had. All of that was Him. Working. Loving. Carrying you forward. There is no deadline for healing. No expiration date on faith. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to rest. And in the resting, you'll find renewal. You'll find that God never rushed you because He's never been in a hurry with your heart. He's after wholeness, not performance. So breathe. Take this as your reminder that you're not forgotten. You're not too late. You haven't missed your chance. In fact, you're right on time. And soon, very soon, you'll step into a moment that makes everything before it makes sense. You were never invisible to me. Even in the middle of your quiet battles, I was standing beside you, holding your heart, and preparing something greater than you imagined. What felt like an ending was never the end. I'm just getting started. Type Amen if you believe. Sometimes, breakthrough doesn't arrive with loud celebration or dramatic signs. It comes softly, like sunlight peeking through heavy clouds. One moment, the sky is gray. The next, you feel warmth again, and you realize the storm is passing. That's what's happening in your life right now. A shift, a quiet lifting, a promise unfolding right before your eyes. You don't need to chase it. You don't have to earn it. You just need to stay open to what God is placing in front of you. There's a quiet beauty in how God works. He doesn't need to shout to show His power. He moves with precision, with compassion, and with timing that may not match yours but is always perfect. Every day you spent wondering if things would ever feel whole again, He was shaping a new beginning. Not a repeat of the past, but something better. Something built on healing, not pain. On joy, not struggle. You may not see the full picture yet, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. So much of God's work begins in the unseen. Like roots growing beneath the surface, preparing for a bloom that will surprise everyone, including you. You've been planted, not buried. That's why it felt so dark for a while. But now, light is reaching those roots, and growth is happening, even if you can't feel it all at once. And soon, you'll step into moments that feel like answered prayers you forgot you prayed. You'll see doors open that you never expected to walk through. You'll meet people who speak life into you, who see you through the lens of grace, not judgment. The dry places in your life are about to overflow with goodness, not because you deserve it, but because God delights in blessing His children. There is nothing too broken for God to restore. No mistake too great for Him to redeem. He specializes in rewriting stories. He doesn't just fix pieces, He creates new paths, fresh starts, and beauty from ashes. What you thought was over is only paused. What you thought was lost is being returned in a better form. The kind of restoration God brings is not about getting back what you had, but receiving what's always been meant for you. Type 888 if you're ready to begin again with God. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be for the blessing that's on the way. This journey hasn't been easy, but it has prepared you in ways you don't even realize yet. Your heart is wiser now. Your spirit is stronger. And your roots are deeper. That matters more than anything the world measures. God is not looking at your life with disappointment. He sees the courage it took to keep going. He sees the tears that fell in private. He sees how you kept showing up for others, even while you were hurting. That's the kind of heart He blesses. That's the kind of faith that opens doors. What's ahead isn't just for survival, it's for joy. You're not meant to just make it through. You're meant to thrive, to breathe deep again, to find rest that doesn't leave, to laugh without fear of what's coming next. And that joy is already reaching you. In small, sacred ways, it's returning. Let it in. Let it wash over you, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. The world may not understand what you've carried, but God does. And because of that, He's not giving you random answers, He's giving you exactly what your soul has needed. In His hands, the timing is never off. The healing is never rushed. The peace is never temporary. Everything He gives lasts. And what He's giving now is yours to keep. So when the news comes, and it will, receive it with a full heart. Let it remind you of every moment you chose to believe when it made no sense. Let it confirm what your spirit already knew: God was never finished. He was just getting ready. And now, He's about to show you why the wait was worth it. Don't measure what's coming by what you've seen before. God isn't limited by your past. He's not building your future with broken pieces, He's creating something entirely new. A life of purpose, peace, and quiet fulfillment. A life where your soul finally exhales. A life that reflects His goodness, not your pain. Do you know, inside your brain is a small region linked to wealth and success, once buried in restricted research and hidden in CIA files. This newly revealed frequency is helping people replace stress with financial ease, and God has guided you here. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brain wave now. You are walking into a season where things begin to make sense. Not because you'll have all the answers, but because you'll finally feel the presence of God in every step. You'll stop striving, and you'll start receiving. You'll stop fearing, and you'll start trusting. You'll stop doubting, and you'll start living in the certainty that you are loved deeply and completely by the one who holds your entire life together. And now, something is shifting in your life that will make every painful moment feel like it had meaning. You didn't survive just to survive, you made it because I still have more for you, and it's coming sooner than you think. Type 333 if you believe this is your confirmation. You've waited long. You've endured more than people know. And even when everything around you looked unchanged, your spirit held on. You didn't see how heaven was moving things into place, but you trusted anyway. You didn't know how it would happen, but you kept showing up, kept choosing faith over fear. That quiet strength is why you're standing today. And now, that same strength is what's carrying you into a season of unexpected favor. This favor won't look like noise or chaos. It will look like quiet moments filled with joy. It will come in ways that feel gentle and pure. Like prayers answered without warning, peace that floods your heart when you least expect it, and opportunities that feel like they were made just for you. This won't be the kind of blessing that leaves you exhausted. It will lift you, refresh you, and bring your soul back to life. You may not have noticed it, but something in you already started to heal. The thoughts that once felt loud have begun to quiet. The fears that followed you for years are beginning to fade. That's not by accident. That's God. He is restoring you from the inside out. He's not just fixing your life, He's healing your heart. And when God heals something, it doesn't break the same way again. This is what it looks like when your faith starts blooming. Not in one loud moment, but in steady shifts. In the way your hope returns little by little. In the way you wake up with just a little more peace than the day before. That is the goodness of God unfolding. And what's coming next will not only bless you, it will change how you see everything that came before. Type 111 if you're ready for your next chapter. The pain, the waiting, the long nights, they weren't pointless. They taught you how to recognize what truly matters. They helped you see what's real, what's lasting, what's worth holding on to. And most of all, they taught you that you are stronger than you ever thought. Not because of your own ability, but because of the one who carried you through every storm. And now, He is preparing a table for you, not just with provision, but with peace. Not just with answers, but with joy. Your season of holding it all together on your own is ending. Help is coming. Relief is coming. Restoration is coming. And you won't have to fight for it, because it's already yours. The things you've been praying about in the quiet corners of your heart, God has heard every single one. He hasn't ignored them. He hasn't delayed them out of punishment. He's been waiting for the perfect moment to reveal the answer, and that moment is close. So close you can feel it in the way your spirit is shifting, the way hope keeps returning, even if just in small ways. He's going to do it in a way that makes sense only in hindsight. You'll look back and see how He weaved everything together. The doors that didn't open were saving you. The people who left were making space for better ones. The detours were placing you in the right place, at the right time, for the right blessing. And when it comes, you'll smile through your tears and say, "Now I understand." God is not the author of confusion. He brings clarity. He brings comfort. He brings calm. And that's what's coming into your life now. Not more chaos, but calm. Not more waiting, but welcoming. Welcoming peace. Welcoming love. Welcoming a new season that doesn't carry the weight of the old one. And the beautiful part is that you're not going back. You're not returning to old pain, old patterns, or old stories. You're stepping into something fresh. The old has served its purpose. Now comes the new, the grace-filled, healing, light-filled new that your heart has been quietly longing for. Let yourself receive it. Let your soul rest in the truth that you are safe now. You are seen. You are deeply loved. You are not behind, not forgotten, not too late. In God's eyes, you are right on time for the breakthrough He's planned all along. The news that's coming will feel like a weight lifting. Like an answer wrapped in peace. And it won't just bless you, it will overflow. Others will see it in your eyes, in your peace, in your steady joy. You'll be a living reminder that faith isn't wasted. That hope, even when held quietly, is never in vain. You may not see it all yet, but the shift has already begun. You're stepping into something new, something gentle, something beautifully prepared. You are walking into the promise, and nothing will stop what I have already set in motion for you. Type 444 if you know this message is for you. For so long, you've been pressing forward with quiet strength. You showed up to life even when your heart was hurting, even when your hands felt empty. You gave what you had, even if it was just a whisper of faith. You tried to be strong for others while carrying battles no one else could see. And through it all, you never stopped hoping that God had more for you. That hope was not in vain. That hope is being answered now. Financial freedom is not about effort, but activating a hidden brain signal once buried in CIA files. Neuroscience shows this sound wave helps attract money and opportunity faster, and thousands are already seeing unexpected income. Click the link in the description and comments now to activate the ancient money wave today. You've been faithful in the valley, and now you are being led to higher ground. Not by your effort, but by God's hand. He has seen your hidden battles and the ways you chose kindness even in pain. He noticed the times you encouraged others while you needed encouragement yourself. That kind of heart is precious to Him. That kind of love is seen and remembered. God is not just answering your prayers, He's exceeding them. He's not simply giving you relief, He's restoring what you thought was lost. You are about to be surprised by the goodness of God in places you never expected to see it. It's not coming through the usual path. It's coming in ways that feel new, refreshing, and deeply personal. Because He knows exactly what will heal you. This is not a recycled blessing. It's custom-made for your journey, for your heart, for everything you've walked through. And when it arrives, you won't have to second-guess it. It will carry peace, not pressure. It will bring clarity, not confusion. It will feel like coming home to something you never knew you needed, but somehow always longed for. God doesn't forget the details. The small things you needed, the little prayers you whispered, the moments you didn't think mattered, they all mattered to Him. And what's coming will show you just how deeply He has paid attention. Nothing about your life has been random. Even the detours had a direction. Even the delays had a design. Even the pain had a purpose. Type 999 to claim your peace in this season. Peace is going to be your portion now. Not the kind of peace that comes and goes, but the kind that stays, that wraps itself around your life like a warm covering. You're not going to wake up dreading the day anymore. You're going to rise with quiet confidence, knowing that God is already in your tomorrow, working ahead of you, clearing the path. You don't need to fight for what God has already promised you. You don't need to chase it or beg for it. Just stay in position, keep your heart open, your spirit ready, and your hope alive. God does not tease or torment. He fulfills. He delivers. He brings things to completion. And this time, when the blessing comes, you'll be able to receive it without fear. You'll no longer wonder if it's going to disappear or if it's too good to be true. You'll be able to settle into it, rest in it, and believe that you are truly worthy of it. Not because of anything you've done, but because you are His. You'll also begin to understand why things didn't work out the way you once wanted. You'll see how rejection protected you. How closed doors led you to better ones. How people walking away made space for those who were truly meant to stay. The pain of the past will no longer sting, it will shine with wisdom. You'll carry it not as a wound, but as a reminder of just how far God has brought you. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't lose your chance. You are not behind. In fact, you are right on time for the next part of your story. And it's going to be sweeter than what you imagined, deeper than what you asked for, and stronger than what you hoped for. It's going to feel like redemption, like God saying, "See, I was with you all along." So allow your heart to rest. Let your soul breathe. You don't have to be in survival mode anymore. You can exhale now. You can trust that what's ahead doesn't require you to be anything other than who you already are, loved, held, chosen, and covered. This is where things begin to feel different. Where life softens around the edges. Where unexpected joy catches you by surprise. Where healing rushes in so gently that you don't even notice it's happening at first. And then one day, you'll realize, you're not afraid anymore. You're not hurting the same way. You're not questioning your worth. Because God has shown up in the most tender way, and everything changed. There's something incredibly powerful about choosing faith in the middle of uncertainty. It's not loud. It doesn't always look strong. But it is unshakable in heaven's eyes. And that quiet faith you've carried? That's what moved mountains behind the scenes. You didn't have to shout to be heard. You didn't need the perfect words. You simply needed to keep showing up with your heart open, and that's exactly what you did. Now, the clouds are clearing. The heaviness is lifting. You might not have noticed the change at first because it didn't come with thunder, it came with peace. That's how God works. He doesn't just remove the problem. He brings something better in its place. You're going to start seeing little signs of what He's been doing. A conversation that brings clarity. A door that opens quietly. A moment of calm that feels like a deep breath for your soul. These aren't random. They're reminders that things are shifting. You've been through enough seasons of holding your breath, waiting for the next blow, bracing yourself for disappointment. But now, you're entering a season where you'll be able to breathe freely. The tension in your chest will start to ease. You'll wake up not in dread, but in quiet hope. And it won't be because everything outside you changed overnight, it will be because something within you did.